Hey, so we all make mistakes, but owning up to them is the right thing to do. You know Degree Cool Rush deodorant? Well, last year they changed the formula and it did not go over well with their fans. Degree's whole thing is it turns up the sweat and odor protection when you turn up the effort. And good thing it does because Cool Rush fans really turned up the effort to bring back the original formula. One guy even started an online petition. And Degree listened. They admitted they effed up. And they are bringing the original Cool Rush set back. And it's exactly how you remembered it. Cool, crisp, and fresh. It's back in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. There's a reason why it's been the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. It's the same reason why people were not happy when it changed. So if you never tried it, it might be a good time to see what the fuss is about. Head to your local Walmart or Target to try the OG Degree Cool Rush for yourself.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now some quick sports. The Knicks beat the Celtics last night, 121-113. They lead that series 3-1. Tatum, they're saying that he might have torn his Achilles. So we'll get, he was rushed to the hospital, they said, and they'll do a checkup today.
And Achilles is worse than hamstring, right?
Yes.
That's, yeah.
Yes,
damn.
yes. And the Timberwolves beat the Warriors last night, 117-110. They lead that series 3-1. And just a heads up, in the NBA draft lottery first round, Dallas got the #1 pick. So Dallas got the #1 pick. So they have Kyrie, they have Ant, and now we'll see what's that. Huh? Yeah, Cooper Flag from Duke. That's who they're probably going to pick up. Morning, Morgan. Sorry for the time.
Nah, you good. Let's just get right into it. How y'all doing? We good?
Yes.
All right. All right, so I'm going to just move on. All right. So more than 4 dozen Afrikaners have come into the U.S. and President Trump, he pretty much funded it. A group of 49 white Afrikaners who were granted refugee status by the Trump administration departed South Africa on Sunday night and landed at Dulles International Airport in Northern Virginia on Monday. Now, President Trump signed an executive order in February granting an exception claiming minority Afrikaners were being treated unfairly in South Africa. During a press conference yesterday, a reporter asked, why are you creating an expedited path into the U.S. for white South African refugees, especially during a time when your administration has pretty much halted all refugee admissions? And here's what the president had to say about that.
Farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa. And the newspapers and the media, television media, doesn't even talk about it. If it were the other way around, they'd talk about it. That would be the only story they'd talk about.
Respectfully, Mr. President, we're talking about it right now. But Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau, he welcomed the Afrikaners, African farmers, when they arrived to Dulles International Airport. The group will now have a pathway to U.S. citizenship and be eligible for government benefits. And for those who don't know, apartheid was a system of legalized racial segregation and discrimination enforced by white minority government in South Africa from 1948 to 1994. It involved separating people based on race, particularly restricting the rights of and opportunities of the black majority. And of course, the word apartheid means separateness in Afrikaans. So it seems like, if based on what the president is saying, it just seems like, it is par for the course. It is on brand.
Well, I'm just curious to see why those 4 individuals, why those 4 Africans are allowed in the country and nobody else is allowed in the country.
4 white Africans.
Yeah, 4 white Africans. Yeah. You're right.
It's 49 of them.
Oh, 49 of them. But why?
Yeah, it's 49 of them.
But why?
Yeah.
Like, what's the deal with that? Because you're so into getting people out the country that's not here the right way. Absolutely. And this, that, and the other, but you let these 4 dozen white Afrikaners come in. It doesn't even make sense.
Maybe they have
49?
vibranium.
Oh my gosh. Is it only 49 white Africans over there in African? Because I didn't know that they were white Africans.
What?
Yeah, in South Africa, there are white Africans.
Elon
they're
Musk is a white African.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
he is a white.
That's
He
a
is
fact.
white.
Yes,
South Africa.
He's from South Africa.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh
he
my
is.
God.
That might be all his family.
But basically, they're saying it's racist. It's racism. They're being treated unfairly by their government, and they're fleeing their country because of unfair treatment and racism.
Cooper Flag is a white African too. Did y'all know that?
Cooper Flag is?
Yeah. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
I don't know but if that was true. I can't trust you.
You had to think about it, right?
Think about that.
You like, damn, he
Think
can't
about
ball.
He can't ball. He can't back. He can't play ball. And he's tall. And he's tall.
That makes sense,
There's
right?
always an exception.
People gonna be mad. People gonna be mad at me because I did not know that.
That there was white
Yes,
Africans.
I know the white Africans are very confident. Me like, you did not know? Like, no, I did not know.
I don't think they talk like that.
Oh,
Though.
so they talk white still?
I've never heard a white African talk like that though.
All right, call
The
up,
South
y'all.
African accent is a little different.
Call, you
but-
want the white Africans to call up?
Yeah, I
call
wanna-
up a few white Africans.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, Morgan, we'll see you next hour. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. Last night, the Timberwolves beat the Warriors. They lead that series 3-1. And the Knicks beat the Celtics 121-113. They lead the series 3-1. Tatum was injured. They're assuming it's a torn Achilles, but we'll find out today.
Yeah, Achilles is an ACL. You could tell that when that happened. The New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to end up playing the Indiana Pacers in the NBA Finals. It's going to be a great series, but the Knicks are going to go to the NBA Finals.
I think so, too.
Nice.
And also, yesterday, NBA draft, Dallas got first pick. So that means Dallas has Kyrie, Ant, and now Cooper.
Cooper Flag. Let me tell you something. Dallas had a 1.8% chance
That's
of winning
crazy.
the NBA draft. With those odds, they were supposed to have the number 11 pick, and they end up with number 1. NBA, you have to make the jig look less obvious. Can you make the rigging look less obvious? Okay, Mavericks traded Luka to the Lakers last year. None of us could understand why. Now we know because they got promised Anthony Davis and a guarantee for the number 1 pick in the draft, which everyone knew would be the white African Cooper Flag. Not a coincidence that 59 white African refugees were brought into this country yesterday, and Cooper Flag, who was a white African, got drafted number 1. And if you don't believe he's a white African, well, guess what? He is the first white American basketball player with superstar potential that's a male. So either way, they rigged it to put him in the best possible situation.
They definitely seem like they rigged that. But
Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving coming back in January, a great organization like Dallas, ship Luka out, bring Cooper in. We know what the hell going on, NBA. Y'all trying to create the next Larry Bird. We're going to see what that white African does next year, though.
he's not African. But good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. If I can add to your sports, Michael Jordan will be joining NBC's NBA coverage this fall. So the network announced on Monday that the global icon will be a special contributor. And in a statement, Jordan said the NBA on NBC was a meaningful part of his career, and he's excited about being a special contributor on the project. So the NBA will be back on NBC for the first time since 2002, and the league and network reached an 11-year deal last summer. So look forward to seeing all of that.
Michael Jordan must be bored. He must just want something to do.
He needed to, we never really hear him talk, you know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing, too. Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, because, I mean, he's one of the greatest basketball player ever. So, I mean.
Yeah, and I don't got to say much. Talent speaks for itself. But, yeah, we would love to hear the commentary around basketball.
Why not? The NFL's GOAT is a commentator, Tom Brady. So why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, naturally. All right, moving on. This comes as President Trump is looking to bring down prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices on the home front. He told a story about a very rich but overweight friend that he has who is on the fat shot. Many are speculating that he's talking about Ozempic. Now, Trump said his friend told him that he goes to London to get the fat shot, which is $88 in London, because here in New York, he would pay $1,300. Now, Trump signed an executive order yesterday that aims to slash prices in the U.S. to what other developed countries pay. Now, Trump said the U.S. will no longer subsidize the health care of other countries, and he's also targeting other practices that inflate drug prices. So the U.S. often pays as much as 3 times more than other developed nations for prescription drugs. And so let's take a listen to the president's commentary around this issue.
Basically, what we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize, where we're all going to pay the same. We're going to pay what Europe's going to pay. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries.
So the president called the executive order one of the most consequential in the country's history. It seems like
Morgan,
there's a lot.
correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, he's doing it as an executive order, but didn't Biden Harris actually do the Inflation Reduction Act, which lowered prescription drug costs and made health insurance more affordable? So that was actual legislation. So I'm wondering, why does he have to sign an executive order for legislation that's already in place. Or am I getting this wrong?
I'm not sure that you're getting it wrong. Maybe the confusion is around the fact that we're talking about affordable health care and drug prices within the country versus us comparing ourselves to others, which is, I think this is the difference in that. So, but either way, just bring the prices of drugs and prescriptions down. I mean, so that they are affordable for people, whether we got to compare ourselves to other countries or it's just
I
a matter
agree.
of-
I just thought that I thought we were already there. Like, I mean, the insulin being $35 a month, like
Oh,
that.
no, there's still more work to be done for sure.
Oh, okay.
Especially, look, according to the president with the fat shot. Hello?
Yeah, I just want somebody to explain to me. Like, I just want to know what did he do yesterday that the Inflation Reduction Act hasn't already done. That's what I want to know.
Meanwhile, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the Trump administration is closing in on a trade deal with China, following weekend talks in Switzerland. Bessent said the two countries have agreed to pause their reciprocal tariffs for 90 days, with both sides lowering their rates by 115%. Bessent said the work between the Trump administration and Beijing is ongoing. Let's take a listen to his comments.
Over the next 90 days, we have a mechanism to meet with the Chinese trade delegation again. We will be discussing tariffs, non-tariff trade barriers, currency, and their subsidies of labor and capital, and how we can open up China to American businesses and rebalance what is our most unbalanced trading relationship.
So Chinese goods have been hit with tariffs as high as 145% under the Trump administration, and Beijing in turn applied a 125% levy on some U.S. goods. So again, I will continue to keep you guys posted as that develops over the course of the next 90 days and sees what happens. We'll see what happens with that. And the White House says the problems at Newark, New Jersey airport fall squarely on the shoulders of the Biden administration. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said the airport is using equipment that's old, and it looks like it's off a set of the movie Apollo 13, and that's dangerous. Let's take a listen.
The outage also interrupted the phone line and radio frequencies for a very short period. This is how controllers talk to pilots. I'll be requesting an OIG investigation into the failures of the last administration. We're using equipment that looks like it's off the Apollo 13 set.
Duffy said former transportation head Pete Buttigieg, who was under the Biden administration, ignored problems with the airport's telecommunication lines. He also said there are temporary software fixes in place, but also warned that it will take time to modernize the airport and flights will have to be reduced. So, yeah, not as many flights coming out of Newark as a result of this, and I'm almost certain that it's like we see these issues with every little thing, and Newark is just the first one, right? So I'm sure there will be probably an overhaul of many other airports and their systems as well.
They announced they said one. Listen to what I'm saying. One air traffic controller and a trainee are going to operate every flight in and out of Newark between 6:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m., even though you need 15 staffers being the standard requirement for a shift.
That's
but
crazy.
One traffic controller and one trainee will operate every flight in and out of Newark between 6:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. That's insane.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
And authorities have suggested, not using Newark right now if you can manage to use another
crazy.
So why don't they just shut it down? Like what?
That's what it feels like they should do.
Like just shut the airport down.
Well, they would lose. I guess these airlines would lose so much money.
They would, but if
but it's like
if it's a chance you could die.
That's what
right.
I'm saying.
And then you're getting canceled anyway. They're getting delayed. They're being pushed to other airports anyway. So it doesn't make sense. Just shut it down.
Clock it, Jess. Clock it. All right.
And they said, and during that time, it was like 168 to 180 planes are
Coming in
scheduled to
during that
take off
time?
and
That's
land.
crazy.
And you got one air traffic controller. I just don't see what
He gonna be stressed out.
the room for error is zero.
That's exactly, and that's essentially why the other air traffic controllers walked off the job. I think it was 3 or 4 of them that walked off the job, and that was just for 90 seconds of the systems being down for 90 seconds. They said they were so stressed out because they just felt like, well, what can they do when the system went out for 90 seconds, that they walked off the job. They're like dealing with trauma in therapy and stuff like that right now, like because they're like. The amount of pressure of, you want to be responsible in a role like that. Goodness. But,
All right. Well,
That's your front
you.
page news. Of course, always. That's your front page news. Follow me on social at Morgan Media and follow more news coverage at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. All right, y'all. Have a great one.
You too now.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.